This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted to finally be joined with Mick Hennessy Jr. Good to catch up with you, mate. First interview together, but it's good to have finals. I'm sure you're feeling very good, mate.
Yeah, I'm feeling great, Lewis. Better now you're here. It's always great to see you. So.
100% good to see you too, mate. Well, we'll firstly get into it. October the 21st, you're back out. As you reflect on your last outing in July, since then, how's it sort of been for you? How's it been in the gym? How's things been?
Yeah, things have been good. I've just been ticking over in the gym, staying active, keeping the weight down. And yeah, we just had the big news, October 21st. Harvey Andrews, we're ready to go.
Well, we'll get into that. But firstly, 21st of October, Buatsi Azeez undercard. It's a busy period for your family. You see your sister making your pro debut on the 30th of September. How special is these lead-ups, these come to the lead-ups of you training with your sister, being in camp with your sister, and looking forward to a big date for yourself?
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. It's all come at once, really. Like, we've been training together alongside each other for a long time. She's been in the amateurs, though, and yeah, now we're both preparing for massive fights, and it's amazing. So we're really pushing each other on every day, and it's going to be a good end to the year.
And how proud of you as a brother, where you're obviously a lot older than her, but she's also seen the pro game so early on, where from your dad, from yourself. So do you feel like she's so almost like she was born to be a pro in a way? That's what I was sort of talking to her earlier.
You know what? I'm immensely proud. We've had a little bit of a rest day today because she's had a lot of media stuff to do, and she's handled it like a real pro. She's taken it all in her stride, and she's been very professional, been all organised. So it comes naturally to her. She's a future superstar for sure, and if she's an amazing fighter. So if she's got that part down as well, she's the full package.
And when you think about it, when you were growing up with her, was there like no choice then? You had to be fighters from just growing up?
Absolutely not. I think it's my dad's worst nightmare. If you'd have asked him this 10 years ago, but obviously I started boxing as an amateur from the age of 11. Yeah, so I've been in this game a long time, but Fran, that's the last thing he wanted was his daughter boxing. So we wouldn't take too much notice of her. She would just follow us around to the gyms and stuff. And, it was good for her to stay active because she didn't like doing much else, for exercise. So we thought it's a good bit of exercise for her. And then I'll tell you the story, actually. We was in a gym one day with some young girls sparring, because I was sparring down at the same gym. And they said, "Oh, does Fran want to jump in?" And my dad was like, "Oh, no, she doesn't box." She was like, "Yes, I do, I'll jump in." And he said, "You haven't got a gum shield." And she whips out the gum shield. Wow. "You haven't got a head guard." It whips out a head guard. And then she jumps in the ring, and she done brilliant. And we were like, wow, she's got serious talent. We need to let her, if this is her dream, we can't stop her. So, yeah.
And how good is it, like you said there, we were saying earlier about the people that she's sparring pros already at such a young age. Do you feel like sort of she's a mature 18-year-old?
She's a very mature 18-year-old. She's been sparring pros since the age of 15, and good pros as well. As I was saying to you earlier, she's sparring the likes of Sky Nicholson, Nina Hughes, world champion, Joanna Wonu, European champion, and doing really well for herself. And she's making a bit of a name for herself on the sparring circuit, I guess. So I feel like there's a lot of people intrigued to see her debut, see what all the buzz is about.
Absolutely. Well, we'll go and see yourself October 21st, Buatsi Azeez undercard. For this platform for yourself, Sky Sports, massive fight, O2 Arena. How excited are you to be back under the bright lights in a sense?
Lewis, I'm buzzing. It's literally my dream. But I've boxed from a young age on the amateur circuit, boxed in leisure centres with 50 to 100 people against killers in the ring for nothing. And now I'm getting paid to box this buffoon live on Sky Sports at the O2 Arena. Is what dreams are made of. Life is great.
That's it. We'll jump into it. We know the opponent, Harley Benn. Lots of back and forth between you. It's hard to keep up. It's hard to keep up with what social posts are happening. But it all started. He'd done an interview a couple weeks ago, talking about the spar and this and that. Firstly, your initial thoughts on taking this fight, and what you think of Harley Benn.
We'll be here a while. Yeah. So me and Harvey go way back. So it starts a year ago probably. I go down to his gym, we're sparring, and I'm just peppering him. It's like an easy spar, and he starts talking, starts chatting shit. I start giving it back to him a bit, I get back to my corner and they say to me, Mike, stop all this talking, just, focus on punching his head in. So I was like, okay, I'm doing it. And he keeps talking rubbish. And he gets to the last round, the 6th round, and he's holding on for dear life. He won't let go of me, I can't spar. So my dad says to him, like, all that shit talk and now you're holding on for dear life, like, be a man, spar him. And he said something rude to my dad. So it obviously kicked off, gloves are coming off. When the bell went, then his coach, Will Jones, got in the middle. It's like, no one's having a straightener at my gym. This is boxing, this is learning. Shake hands. And I kid you not, he sprinted up to the ring apron and said I'd shake his hand. So bang, touch gloves, that was it. Didn't hear from him for a while. Then I didn't hear anything. And then all of a sudden, after my last fight on Sky in December, I got very disrespectfully called out by him. He was calling out Faizan Anwar as well. So I stayed quiet. I thought I'd let him sort out his business with Faizan first. And then we offered him the fight. After that, I fought in July. We offered him the fight straight after for a big show on Sky Sports. And next thing you know, I'm tagged in an interview on Instagram, being called a pussy, being like him giving it to me and my dad. And yeah, he's made it personal now, so I don't like the guy, no.
I was going to say, when we talk about the sparring, you mentioned a lot of things about, you said he was beating them up in the spar, your dad had to stop it. You talked about sort of the Fran, someone on the floor and this and that. So from what you're saying there, it's just completely, complete lies for him, would you say?
Yeah, he's a blatant liar. Okay, the thing about chucking someone on the floor, that is true. From, I think it was like a few days before I was down there sparring as well. Someone was holding on to me. We were sparring, but he just kept grabbing me, hitting me around the back of the head, like wouldn't let go. So I chucked him on the floor. I said, stop holding. That was it. Apologised at the end of the round. Apologised after the spar. Like, I'm not a nasty person. Yeah, but as far as our spar, they're blatant lies. Like my dad got up, didn't even get up. He just said from the ring apron, all that shit talk, and now you're holding on for dear life. Like, be a man. That was all he said. As if he's thrown the towel in and said, stop the spar. He's delusional. I think the guy believes in his own lies, to be honest with you. I remember we was going back and forth on Instagram saying something like, his wardrobe's worth 200k, yet he still lives at home with his mum. Like, it's just embarrassing. He's a blatant liar. So, yeah.
What did you make of him talking about the straightener? I mean, he called you out for a straightener on Instagram. What did you make of that?
Listen, if he was serious about it, he wouldn't be putting it up on stories and that. He'd message me, and it wouldn't be on any stories because they would not let the fight go ahead if they had any inkling of a straightener happening between me and him. So, as far as I'm concerned, he can have it after, no problem. But I want to embarrass him live on TV before that.
You mentioned about there what you said about your dad. He's made it personal with you. He's mentioned a lot of comments about your dad. How do you sort of take them things towards him?
Listen, like, there's no need for it. Why bring family into it? I haven't done that with him. He lives in a massive glass house. I haven't done that. But yeah, he's made this personal now. I'm a laid-back person. It'll take a lot to rile me up, but he's brought family into it. And when you bring my family into it, I'm going to show you my teeth. So, and that includes Brad as well. He was extremely disrespectful to Brad. And being quite honest with you, he couldn't carry Brad's spit bucket. So he needs to learn some respect, and I'm going to put some manners on him October 21st.
I was going to say that where you talked about Brad there, I was literally just about to mention it, and he put an Instagram story up of him, of former stablemate Hamza Shiraz stopping Brad after their fight. And you said there, where do you think this sort of disrespect comes from to Brad, and what do you think it really comes from?
To be honest with you, I think it can only come from him training me. So Brad hadn't said anything before Harley started giving it to him on social media. So Brad's training me, not said a word about Harvey. Yeah, I know their mums were friends, actually, because Harvey boxed on a few of his undercards when they were both with Frank Warren. And so their mums were close, and Brad and him were always cool. Anyway, the fight's been announced with me and him, and all of a sudden he puts up a picture of Hamza, like, standing over Brad after the illegal blows. And then he puts another one up, like, studying, and it's what happened after the illegal blows, which is, like, extremely disrespectful and uncalled for. So all Brad's done is, like, because he was saying in his post, like, oh, my brother, about Hamza and that. He said, oh, your brother, yeah? And he put the DMs up that Harvey sent him, saying that was a liberty, that's a straight DQ, hitting man 3 times on the floor. I had you winning 7 rounds to 1. So he just exposed him, and it all just stemmed from there, really. And it got nasty after that, because I suppose he was embarrassed. He's been caught being a snake to his brother. You know what I mean?
And what you said there about all this talk and all this back and forth, we mentioned about trying to motivate yourself for Journeyman. You find it harder. Does this light a fire under your belly when he says these things, about fake roadman, things like that, and all this? So it's really hard to keep up with all the Instagram posts, to be honest.
Yeah, he's a plastic gangster. He's a little wannabe. Honestly, the worst thing you can do with me is roll me up, because I'm like I said, I'm a laid back person. Sometimes too laid back. But he's lit a fire in my belly, and he's going to see the best of me on October 21st.
And you look now, moving on to a more positive note, at this point in your career, after sort of previous fights and that, do you feel like you're in the best mind, best shape, best possible?
Yeah. No, I'm in a great place mentally, physically. I'm ready to go now. I feel like everything's fell into place at the perfect time. It was like it was meant to happen. So I'm just feeling really blessed to be on such an amazing card, massive arena. Buatsi, Azeez, Chamberlain, Lawal, Sam Gilly and Louis Green. That's another great fight as well. It's going to be a stacked night. So I'm feeling so blessed to be a part of it.
Absolutely. And just as we close this off, how does it end on October 21st?
It ends TKO.
Mick, thank you for your time. Really good to catch up with you, mate. We'll definitely be catching up on Fight Week.
For sure.
Top man.